Jesus. I mean, this news gets better and better each time we hear about it. And Hassan Reddick has requested a trade from the New York Jets, and I swear to God, this isn't a joke. This happened a few hours ago, and it's getting more crazy. And finally, we have Matthew Judon trade talks. Very interesting. Let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So a lot to discuss here regarding the Philadelphia Eagles, and in this case, Hassan Reddick. Okay. Now, the report has come out that Hassan Reddick has requested a trade. Are we really that surprised? I mean, I thought this was a joke in the beginning of when this happened, but I got to say, it's just, I mean, when do these teams learn? This is the first time we are hearing about a team that aggressively trades for a player and the pen and paper is not ready. This is the first time we've ever seen this, to be honest. Didn't show up to minicamp, didn't show up to OTAs. Now, the Eagles gave up so the Jets gave up a third rounder, a conditional third rounder for 2026, which you could turn to a second round pick if Reddick plays like 60-something% of the snaps. I forgot the exact number, 10 plus sacks for the year. It's supposed to be in a rotation with the New York Jets on that line and really increase the pass rush on their defense this year. Reddick has stuck by a number, and he has not went down from that number. I mean, I am not against a guy getting more money, but if the number is not there around the league and nobody wants to pay you that specific number and you're not going to get it, you have to meet down in the middle a little bit, and that's what Reddick has not done. The Eagles figured that they were going to deal with this problem, which they were going to. So if Reddick was just going to hold out with the Philadelphia Eagles on $14.5 million this year, and wasn't satisfied with that, then they want to rip the Band-Aid off as quick as possible. And then now the Jets are dealing with a whole new problem. Now, Joe Douglas, the GM for the New York Jets, came out with a statement saying, "We have confirmed Hassan that we will not trade him, that he is expected to be here with teammates, and that he will continue to be fined per the CBA if he does not report. Since the trade discussions back in March, we have been clear, direct, and consistent with our position. Our focus will remain on the guys we have here as we prepare for the regular season." But why isn't there a contract, though? What's going on with that? I mean, that's the biggest mistake they made. And this next report, this is where they made the mistake. Okay. Now it says from Jordan Schultz, the Jets were informed before acquiring Hassan Reddick that his contract needed to be addressed. Obviously, they made an offer prior to the trade with Philly, which Reddick turned down. So the Jets already made an offer to Reddick. They turned it down before the trade even went down. The team still went ahead with the trade without a deal in place. Reddick attended his press conference with the understanding that contract talks would continue, but I'm told no official proposal has been made since he joined the team in late March. That's where things stand, and if this is why Reddick has not been with the team at minicamp or training camp, and why today's trade request was made. You went into this deal, didn't even. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, what are they think? Why would they even? Why would they? I think they were in panic mode and said, let's just bring him in. We'll try to get this contract done. The Eagles got a free pick out of it. They got a third round pick out of it. And you know what? To be honest with you, the third round conditional, or if, since he's not getting traded, I don't know, this is just going to get really ugly. Okay. He's just going to lose that $14 million. He's just going to lose. I don't know how much he's losing by not showing up to practice, training camp as of right now. But obviously when the season gets here, and if he's holding out by that time, he's going to be losing a lot more money every day. And it's going to add up, and that goes right into the Jets cap space. Right into the Jets cap space it goes. Okay? And then I try to figure this out by myself. And not really by myself, but I kind of already knew when the Eagles, I guess, were trying to trade Reddick. I don't think there was that many offers on the table because the Eagles had to talk to Reddick's agent about the number. Like, he's got to get traded to a team that's going to pay the number that he wants. And I don't think there was a lot of teams out there that want to pay him $25 million, if that's the number. The rumor is $25 million a year, okay? At 30 years old, whatever. I don't think any teams had any interest, and a lot of teams turned down the Eagles, or there was no interest at all because everybody kind of knew what Reddick wanted, where his number was. Eagles ripped the Band-Aid off and just get rid of him so the Eagles don't have to deal with it down the road. I've never seen this. I've never heard of this, but the Jets made a big mistake. So really, without Hassan's approval of being traded, or at least the consensus of there was not even a contract on the table. The pen and paper wasn't even ready at that point that they would promise to continue contract talks. And since they did, so they haven't even spoke. Reddick hasn't spoke to anybody since March. Nobody. You go to the Jets complex, you meet all the players, you have your press conference. Usually that day, you're signing your contract. Every time the Eagles bring in a player, whether it's free agency, the draft, whatever, those players are signed, sealed, delivered, press conference, it's done. But this just makes the Eagles look better. This made Howie Roseman look like, come on now. So this is on them for making a stupid trade, not us. I'm talking about the New York Jets for dealing with that. The Eagles didn't want to deal with it. They knew they were going to deal with it. And I'm hoping Bryce Huff becomes a really good player in Philadelphia, because would I love Hassan Reddick back on this team? Yes, but for some reason, and I get it, he deserves more money. He definitely deserves more than $14 million this year. Okay, that's what I can agree with. Now, the number, I'm not really sure about that. And a lot of teams still aren't sure about that. Hence why the Jets pulled the trigger on this trade, saying, we'll deal with the contract later. And Reddick won't even step on the field for them at all. So that's the whole situation with Hassan Reddick. The Eagles literally took a potential problem that would have happened if they forcefully kept him, because at the end of the day, Howie Roseman had leverage. The Eagles had leverage over Hassan Reddick, really. Like, he's on contract for $14.5 million for the year. So it is what it is. We were told by Reddick at the end of last year that he wasn't going to go anywhere, that he wasn't going to hold out. But, of course, he was probably going to, probably just lied because he didn't want to cause any media stuff to be on him about it. But that's where we're at with the whole situation with Hassan Reddick. It's ugly, and it's going to get even more ugly. Reddick requested a trade. Joe Douglas is saying he's not going anywhere. We're not trading him. They're going to try to get something done. Reddick's not even happy the way the Jets are handling the situation. But the Eagles said, you know what? Not our problem. not our problem. So that's the whole situation with the New York Jets. And I talk about this because a draft pick is involved. Somebody asked me about the situation, was like, what happens if he gets traded? Does this rescind the trade? No, it doesn't. The Eagles will just get a third-round pick. So if the Jets actually did trade Reddick, the Eagles would still get their third-round pick. They wouldn't get a conditional because he's not playing for the Jets, so the conditional will be out the door. But the third-round pick will be there for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Jets can't mess this up. This is a team that they didn't have Aaron Rodgers last year after the first game. So to add this type of cancerous BS in their locker room is probably the worst thing they could do, where this is a team that's really trying to strive for a championship in short term, really. So that's where we're at with that whole situation. Now, down to good things that potentially could happen. Okay, we have got some news on some big news here. All right. Matthew Judon Okay, multiple teams have inquired about training for pass rusher Matthew Judon amidst his contract statement with the Patriots. Per sources, Judon is due $6.5 million in the final year of his deal. New England made contract offer to Judon this summer, which Judon did not accept. Matthew Judon is how old? 30, 31 years old. Forgot how old he is. Okay. This is a guy that not only could be an edge rusher, an off-ball edge rusher, a linebacker. I think this is a guy that the Eagles should trade for. I think as a combination between off-ball to obviously rushing the quarterback, I think they need a player that rushes the quarterback well. I'm sorry, but I'm still not comfortable with these edge rushers right now. As much as I like Jalen Hunt, what he's done in the open space when it comes to his coverage, it's just, to me, I feel like they need to garnish more pressure on quarterbacks. I understand these guys are going to be in coverage, but if Fangio has these ends, even last year with the Dolphins, he was third in pressures last year. I liked how we've been using our linebackers and the corner blitz, and the combination of blitz packages has been great. I still think they need another body. DT, I feel a little bit more comfortable going forward. Milton Williams, Moro Jomo have been having really good camps. Milton Williams should have a really big year this year behind Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. But that edge is just very much in question right now. Bryce Huff has not really shown too much on limited snap count, not even in practice that much. And Fangio is really not giving me being comfortable too much about Bryce Huff as of right now. So hopefully, because of the limited snap count, Bryce Huff and a lot of others haven't really done much of anything. We still need another guy in the building. This is a one-year rental. The Eagles have $24.5 million in cap space probably as of right now, so the Eagles financially are really good. Matthew Judon, $6.5 million. He knows that the Patriots aren't contending, so if the Patriots did offer him a contract, he didn't accept it because at the end of the day, guys, like when you're at the end of your career or you're at the prime years of your career, you really want to go somewhere and contend for a championship and be on a good roster with a bunch of other guys. The Eagles and the Patriots are practicing joint practices for a couple days this week. So to be honest with you, it's the perfect combination. Okay, it looks really good. This would be the perfect opportunity where Howie Roseman and the other GM of the Patriots could sit and talk about things, and you know what I mean? The conversations do happen during these joint practices when there's multiple teams going after a player like this. So are the Eagles one of those teams going after Matthew Judon? I really hope so. I feel like they need to make another, like at least a couple moves. If not this one, I don't know what's going on offensively for the Philadelphia Eagles. Really, the only rumors I've heard offensively was really for wide receiver. But I think that's still up in the air right now. I think we need to see a little bit more. But defensively, defense needs a lot of work. This is technically a new scheme that's used differently from Vic Fangio. We've ran this scheme the last few years, but with Fangio full control, we're actually blitzing now, and Fangio is really taking this defense to a new level now, and hopefully to be one of the best defenses this year. I still think that edge rusher is just still up in the air. Nolan Smith, a third quarter sack isn't going to tell me he's going to do much this year, but his camp has been okay. Jalen Hunt, off-ball coverage guy, but I need to see him go after the quarterback a little bit more. I think the attention to detail, sense of urgency with Jalen Hunt and his coverage ability and his catch-up speed is fantastic. There's just not much else there for me to say, wow, we're set at defensive line right now. Adding another piece, and God forbid, like the great thing about this scheme, I think, is if you lose a linebacker, or sorry, if a linebacker is injured or something like that, a guy that plays end to can play as a linebacker, can always switch, and you can always move guys around. And these hybrid type guys, because of this scheme, could play both edge rusher or off-ball edge rusher or play at linebacker as well. So Judon could do both, which is a fantastic thing. So that's where we're at with the whole situation. I'm hoping we see some little nits and bits of Matthew Judon hanging out with Howie Roseman or something. I don't know. But I think the Eagles are definitely 1,000,000% one of those teams that have interest in Matthew Judon. And And that's where we're at. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope everyone has a fantastic day today. Quick news today. Just wanted to get this out there. And I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. And definitely like the video. Helps out the channel tremendously. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? False Life. Peace out, guys. Peace.